Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. This time, Witchcrafters. Now, I've been playing this deck on Master Duel for a while now. Um, it recently got its fusion support with Witchcrafter Vice Madame, and I enjoyed playing this deck when originally when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It definitely has its weaknesses. It's definitely in that casual tier. Um, it's not really a rogue or meta threat. It is a little bit more playable now because we could stuff in some power cards such as Super Poly, um, Solemn Judgment. They all got reprints recently. Even Forbidden Droplets got a recent reprint. Um, so I just wanted to show you this deck build, which makes use of Witchcrafter Vice Madame's effects. And basically, that's what this deck revolves around. Um, Making use of her three effects. Um, so let's just read this card and I'll explain why you would want to build the deck around her. So it says when a spell card or effect or non-fusion spellcaster monster effect is activated. Quick effect, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use one of each per turn. So you could destroy a card on the field. You could special summon a level 6 or lower Witchcrafter from your hand or deck, and then you could add a Witchcrafter spell from your graveyard to your hand. So, you know, so it gives you like recursion with adding spells from your grave. Um, you can add a monster negate via Heine with special summoning, and you can destroy a card on the field. So it's a really powerful card. It's not like broken. She doesn't have any inherent protection effects, which I'll get into with the other cards, but she's pretty strong in like a control manner, right? Like you could stop your opponent from playing the game potentially. So the way you utilize that, in my opinion, is you run a lot of quick spells. So that's like Super Poly, fuse with the opponent's cards, Book of Moon, put the opponent's monster face down, Forbidden Droplet, negate their effects. Maybe you Cosmic Cyclone one of their spell cards. I am running a few traps. I mean, I think Solemn Judgment pairs well with this deck because you kind of want to control what they do. So, if they're making a big play, maybe you say no to that with the Solemn Judgment. I think that is the best, like most competitive way to play this deck. Um, Luckily, in the TCG it's cheap. I mean, most of the expense is actually in the extra deck, which you could tailor to whatever you need. I think most of the money actually is going into these Super Poly targets. Because I believe Starving Venom is expensive. Let's see. So it's 14. Oh, that's only $1. So that is not the expense. Where did that card go? Oh, here it is. Garura maybe? Okay, yeah. Garura is expensive. Garura is like $8. Mud Dragon, sorry, is a few cents, so that's not a big deal. Okay, the rest of the card, Access Code Talker, is like $20, right? Yeah. Whoa. Access Code Talker is what? Wow. All right. I mean, I'll take it out of the deck build. I mean, I have an Access Code Talker. Wow, that is nearly $40 right now. All right, that's coming out. I did not know that. Wow. Underworld Goddess is like $7-8. Wow. I mean, you could play like Boral Sword, right? Boral Sword, right? This is a game ender kind of card, right? It's only like $1. Wow, I did not know access code was that expensive. I'm gonna have to start taking that out of my budget builds. Like, look at this. It went down so much. Now it's only $70. But yeah, access code is definitely recommended in this deck, especially because you have a lot of different elements. Oh wait, these are the. I meant in the extra deck, right? Because Crowley is a dark, Celine is a light, and then you get at least 2 pops, right? You get at least 2 pops with your monsters. So wow, I didn't know access. Okay, we're getting off topic here. Anyway, Witchcrafters. So how do they work? So basically, you start with one of the lower level 1 through 4 spellcasters, and you don't really want to run too many of these because they're all normal summons, normal summon reliant. I mean, if you have Witchcrafter Unveiling, it definitely helps. If you have this in your hand, they'll let you special summon. But you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it's kind of pushing it. Normally in a 40 card deck, you only run. I think the strategy is 5 to 6 normal summons, so you're kind of pushing it here. But you know, you like to have Jenny and Pottery available in the deck because they have decent effects. So, oh, I just added another one. So what do they do? It says during the main phase, quick effect, you could tribute this card and discard a spell. Special summon a Witchcrafter monster from your deck, except this one. Then when this is in the grave, you can banish this card and a Witchcrafter spell from your graveyard. This effect becomes that spell's effect. So you can copy a spell card's effect, right? Pottery is basically the same effect in the beginning, but then it says you can banish this card and target a Witchcrafter card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So this lets you recycle cards. Pitori lets you draw and then send a Witchcrafter from your hand to the grave. And then if you don't, you banish your entire hand. So this has a huge cost. So use this sparingly, right? But it's just another name you could go into, right? Smieta is your best starter because basically it says banish this from your graveyard, send a Witchcrafter card from your deck to the graveyard. And why is that good? Because all of your spell cards have the effect that at the end of the turn you can add it back to your hand. And why would you want to do that? I mean, besides recycling, Witchcrafter Madame Bear, which was originally the boss monster of this deck. This card says during damage calculation, if your spellcaster monster battles, so it doesn't specify who's attacking, which is good. Quick effect, you can reveal any number of spells, so it doesn't have to be Witchcrafter spells. Any number of spells with different names in your hand, and if you do, your battling monster gains 1,000 attack and defense for each card revealed until the end of this turn. Quick effect, you can discard a spell and negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of this turn. So you can really, surprise your opponent with these quick effects. I mean, especially in Master, though, right? Like if you're playing this in real life, though, they're gonna read your cards. But yeah, it's a really powerful effect, and that's another plus of running multiple spell cards. Alright, so we went through the regular normal summons. I am running Adele. She's not the best because she's a level 5. But if you are really able to get her on the field, it says quick effect, you can discard a spell, special summon a Witchcrafter from your hand. You could also discard. You could tribute this card, then target a spellcaster in your grave. Except this card, special summon it. So it has a pretty strong effects. It's just, it's a level 5, so you're gonna have to special summon this with one of the other ones, or tribute summon. Like, it's not the best card, or maybe you use unveiling. Um, Heine is one of the stronger cards in this deck. Potentially, you could run 2 of these if you're afraid of your opponent banishing it. I'll stick that right here. But basically, your opponent cannot target other spellcasters you control with card effects. So only this one. Quick effect: you could discard a spell, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. So this destroys, and Madame Vare negates monster effects. And then on top of that, you got the protection of Golem Aruru. I don't know how I'm gonna get this. Maybe if I get this here. Yeah, there you go. So this card says, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster you control, or targets it for an attack, quick effect: you could target one part your opponent controls, or one spell in your grave. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do, return that targeted card to the hand. Oh, I didn't know you could return a spell. Wow, I just learned something right now. Originally, I would just use this, to defend my cards from the opponent, and return their cards to the hand. But you could actually recycle a Witchcrafter spell from your graveyard. Interesting. Once per turn, during your opponent's standby phase, return this card to the hand. So, the next turn, this returns to your hand. So you could do it again. But yeah, those are all the monsters. Holiday lets you special summon a Witchcrafter from your graveyard. It's decent. This is definitely a cuttable card. Unveiling, you should definitely run it 2 to 3, as this special summons the Witchcrafters from your hand. Creation adds them to your hand from the deck, so run 3 of these. Buy Street. Oh, why was I running 2 of these? Yeah, you don't need 2 of these. Buy Street gives you battle and card destruction protection. So that's pretty cool. And it has a secondary effect where you could send this card to the grave as a cost for your Witchcrafter cards, your Witchcrafter monsters. Collaboration is okay. This is definitely a cuttable card, because it says a Witchcrafter can make a second attack during a battle phase, and the opponent can't activate spell or traps during the battle phase. Confusion Confession is your fusion spell card. Magicalized Fusion is here to make Quintet Magician. Magician's Restage kind of just works really well with this deck. So you run this and Magician's Right Hand. You could run Left Hand as well, which negates traps, but I don't know. I guess it depends on what you encounter. If they're running evenly matched or a back row deck, Reasoning works really well with this deck because you have level 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. Just there's a lot of levels here, so it'll be difficult for the opponent to guess the level of your monster. Harpies is just staple. Callby staple. Super Poly we talked about. This just works well with Vice Madame. Same with Book of Moon. Same with Droplet. Same with Cyclone. Masterpiece and Patronus are like the only trap cards that they have and that you would consider running. If you control a Witchcrafter, target a spell in either grave, add one card with the same name from your deck to your hand. So you need multiple copies of the spell. During either player's turn except the turn this card was sent to the grave, You can banish this card and any number of spells. Special summon a Witchcrafter from your deck whose level equals the number of spell. This is kind of, this is a very questionable trap card, but I just run it because, in a grind game, this would really help you. Patronus is also cool. Harry Potter reference, there you go. You could target one of your spellcaster monsters that is banished or in your grave, shuffle it, and if you do, add a Witchcrafter spell from your deck to your hand. It's a really good effect. If this card is in your grave except the turn it was sent, you can banish this card, then target any number of banished Witchcrafter spells, add them to your hand. So yeah, this card is definitely worth running. I mean, it's not really live turn 1. Turn 2, it's a turn 2 and beyond card, but it's really powerful. Solemn Judgments we spoke about. These are super poly targets. You definitely want to run 3 of the Vice Madame, at least 1 Quintet Magician to run with your Magical Eyes Fusion. And then, these are just general links to go into. I was shocked to see the price of Access Code Access Code Talker rise so much. So now we're down to $70. And it could be even cheaper depending on what you cut from the side deck. I'm going to have Ash Blossoms in here, Kaijus, an extra Heine, a small Spellbooks engine, which I just think is too bricky for this deck because you need your normal summon. The Magician's Left Hand, Chalice, which you could substitute for Droplet, Imperm, which you could run at 3. Then you could go even more control if you want. It just kind of conflicts a little bit with how Witchcrafters run because they want to see spells, as discards. So it kind of conflicts, but you could run more traps if you feel like you need to control the opponent more in a different way. All right, so let's see what this deck can do. Okay, this hand is better. So let's normal summon Shmieta. Oh, that was the other thing about this deck. This deck dies to 1 Ash Blossom. So that is why this deck is in casual tier. So let's special summon by discarding this collaboration. So typically you go for, oh, Heine's in my hand. That's unfortunate. Typically you go for Heine because that is disruption on the opponent's turn. But I guess we'll go for Madame Vare. And this could copy the spell effect, my Shmieta, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to set this and see what the opponent comes up with. Yes, I'm going to add that to my hand. Okay, so they got Mystical Space Typhoon, and I'm going to let that go. Goblinberg. And I'm going to negate that. Yes. Oh, okay. Ooh, he had an extender anyway. It is not looking good for me. Okay. So what does Lightning Blade do? Cannot be destroyed by a card effect. Okay. So special summon. Ooh, I have to discard the Super Poly. I don't have another spell. So let's go for I think we lost this one, fellas. You could tribute this card. Oh, let's try Adele. I can copy a spell effect, But let's hold off on that for now, because collaboration is not a good spell. Just summon Madame Vare from the grave. And then, one spell will put us up to 3,800. So, let's go with that. If this... Oh, this card can negate... What does it say? Your opponent can activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So, I cannot do it during the battle phase. Huh. So I'm going to have to negate his effect. I don't think negating effects. Okay. Let's just see what happens. Discard a spell. No. So what does it say? This card battles. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. I think I'm screwed here. Yeah, we're gonna let this one go. Okay. This hand definitely looks better. So let's start with Buy Street. That's the continuous spell card. Okay. Let's use creation to bait out any negates. I would search out Golem or Ruru to give ourselves protection. Okay. Doesn't seem like they have a negate. Let's discard. Buy Street is, I think you get that back at the end of the turn. Let's see. And let's summon Heine this time. Let's set droplets and let's go. I was lucky there. So how come I couldn't get creation back? Kind of puzzled by that. Okay, let's go on the offensive here. Main phase 2. Set this. I can let's send a card to the grave. It's on the fusion. Yes, add back to the hand. Yes, add back to the search from deck. What? Alright, so now we have protection, we have the fusion spell, and we have another spell as a discard. Alright, this is the perfect setup, to be honest. What is this guy running? All earth monsters? Okay. Okay. Alright, this opponent is just letting me win, basically. Alright, so let's start with creation. Let's add another... Let's do pottery this time. So I could add this back to my hand. Let's normal summon pottery. Special summon. Discard the Book of Moon. Special summon Madame Vare. Do a attack this time. Oh, if you have no cards in your hand. I did not know that about pottery. Okay. Let's activate the fusion. Let's go into Vice Madame using Adele and... Ooh, this is tough. Let's use Madame Vare. Okay. So I think we're good. Let's go to battle. Alright, we're sitting pretty good right now. I can quick effect destroy, and I have Witchcrafter Vice Madame's effect, so let's just see what happens here. Sure? No, I thought my cards would recycle. Nope. You know what? Let's add another creation to my hand. Okay, the opponent's playing Moki Moki or something. Alright. Alright, so let's add Witchcrafter, let's utilize Witchcrafter creation. Let's add Jenny. So I activated a spell. I'm surprised Vice Madame didn't activate. A little confused by that. But let's activate her effect. Maybe that'll trigger it. Yes, there you go. Let's add to hand one of these spells. So yeah, that's how Witchcrafters works. They're definitely kind of limited. if I'm being honest, they're definitely kind of limited. I mean, this was an empty board, and it still took us a little while to get set up. Let's do one more. Okay, this hand is playable. Jeez, I was about to say. Alright, so let's do a level 3. Let's go for a level 3 or lower. Okay, so it's normal summon Jenny. Activate right hand. Activate effect. Discard. Ooh. Yeah, let's discard this because I could extend with the other one. So let's go for Heine. Oh, why'd I put that in defense? That was a mistake. That was a misplay. And I have no cards in my hand. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's see where this goes. Solar Windjammer. Sorry. Instant fusion. But it was negated by Magician's Right Hand, okay. And they went Sacred Rain. Oh, they really try to... Oh, I could Solemn Judgment that. Alright, let's... I have no spells to discard, so we're just gonna have to go straight to battle. Ooh. Another misplay. Should attack the Shmieta first. Alright, if I get these in the graveyard, let's just use Shmieta. So I think I can extend. Activate effect. Send the fusion spell. Oh, but I still need a spell in the graveyard, right? So now let's go into Crowley using those two. Banish this to banish this. Let's add Golem. Okay, and face. So we got that in our hand and we banish this. That got negated. Ooh, Summoner Monk. Let's just go for now. He needed a spell. Okay. Great, great. Discard a spell. Let's do that. So I already need this called by the grave. Alright. I think we can go into our Vice Madame. Unfortunately, I have to give up. Yeah, this. So I like this deck, but like the word is it's too fair. There's too much costs. Like you have to discard a spell to do something, you know, to do anything. It's just too costly. That's that's why this deck is like casual tier. Because, you know, for example, Casteria can, you know, special summon itself for free. Big, you know, 2500 beater that could banish a card face down, like just because the opponent uses a monster effect. Like that kind of stuff is broken. This stuff, like, there's cost to these cards, and it's just, in my opinion, too costly. Okay. Oh, we're in trouble here. We are in trouble. I could have used this card. And I think we lost this battle. That is unfortunate. We couldn't seal the deal. That's game. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's just do a short recap. So we're back. Yeah, I want to like this deck. I want to, but it's just too fair. Like Witchcrafter Vice Madame, you know, doesn't have any cost really to its effects, so you know it makes this card strong. I mean, I don't think it's like broken. Because it's destroy a card on the field once per turn, special summon a Witchcrafter, which they all have costs associated with their effects, or add a Witchcrafter spell to fuel your Witchcrafters, right? Like, if, like, I understand, you know, these are like strong effects, like negate all face-up monsters on the field is kind of strong for Madame Bear, and you know, once per turn, quick effect card destruction, face-up card destruction is decent, but you know, not broken enough to warrant, you know, you need to discard a spell every time. And then the smaller ones needing discards is terrible. You know, maybe, you know, back when these released, it was quote unquote powerful, but it's just too hard to assure that you have a Witchcrafter monster, a spell in your hand for the discard, you know, to set up your turn one, and then, you know, at the end phase maybe you get your spell back, but then what if you needed the fusion spell? Like, what if you don't have that in your hand? How do you search that out? So it's just, you know, I like this deck, and you know, I like spellcasters in general, but this deck is purely casual. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any tips on how to improve this deck, let me know. I really try to rack my brain with this. And yeah, let me know if you like these types of videos. I really like doing budget Yu-Gi-Oh video decks, you know, along with my gaming videos. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.